Imagine a world without Sonic the Hedgehog, Streets of Rage, or Golden Axe. It's hard, isn't it? That's the massive impact Sega has had on the gaming industry. Sega is more than just a brand. It's a powerhouse that has shaped the world of gaming, creating a universe where imagination meets reality. Think about the iconic characters who've become part of our pop culture fabric. Sonic with his incredible speed, Axel Stone and his relentless fight against crime in Streets of Rage, and the fearsome warriors of Golden Axe. These characters have not just entertained us, but they've defined generations, transcending the boundary of the gaming world to become cultural icons, and it doesn't stop there. Sega's innovative games, filled with captivating narratives and cutting-edge technology, have revolutionized the gaming industry, setting new standards and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in interactive entertainment. So, how did Sega become such a game changer? Let's delve into its history. The story of Sega starts not in the 1980s, as many believe, but way back in 1940, in the heart of Honolulu, Hawaii. A trio of entrepreneurial spirits, Martin Bromley, Irving Bromberg, and James Humpert, saw opportunity within the entertainment industry. They launched a company initially called Standard Games, aimed at providing amusement for military personnel stationed at the Pearl Harbor base. Their venture wasn't focused on video games just yet, as they were still decades from being invented. Instead, Standard Games specialized in coin-operated amusement machines, a far cry from the Sonic the Hedgehog and Streets of Rage titles we associate with Sega today. Yet this was a humble beginning, a small spark that would eventually ignite into the roaring flame of innovation and creativity that is Sega. But the journey from Standard Games to Sega was not a straightforward one. In 1951, Standard Games became Service Games, and in 1960, it finally became the Sega we know today. Now, how did this transformation happen? Well, back in the 50s, when the US government placed a ban on slot machines in its territories, Standard Games had to adapt. The company evolved into Service Games, catering to the American military bases in Japan, but the story doesn't end there. The real turning point came in 1960, when Service Games joined forces with Rosen Enterprises, a company owned by a visionary named David Rosen. Rosen saw the potential of amusement machines and believed they could turn a healthy profit. This merger marked the birth of Sega Enterprises, a new player in the world of arcade games. With Rosen at the helm, Sega Enterprises set its sights on conquering the global market, and so the stage was set. With the formation of Sega Enterprises, the golden age of arcade games was about to begin. The 1970s and 80s were a golden age for arcade games, and Sega was at the forefront of it all. This was a time when gaming was not just about sitting in front of a screen at home, but about the experience of stepping into an arcade, the electrifying environment filled with the sound of digital bleeps and bloops, the glow of neon lights, and the camaraderie of fellow gamers. In this bustling environment, Sega carved out a niche for itself with a series of innovative and popular games. One of the early pioneers was Periscope, a game that transported players into the world of submarine warfare. With its unique Periscope viewing feature, it was a massive hit and set the stage for Sega's dominance in the arcade game industry. Then there was Zaxxon, the first arcade game to introduce isometric projection, a form of visual perspective that was groundbreaking at the time. It gave players a unique three-dimensional gaming experience, and it was a testament to Sega's commitment to pushing the boundaries of what was possible in gaming. And who could forget Outrun? This iconic racing game captured the hearts of gamers with its high-speed action, impressive graphics, and choice of music. It was a game that truly exemplified the spirit of the arcade era, fast, fun, and relentlessly challenging. But Sega was not just about arcade games. As the 80s drew to a close, they recognized the growing potential for home gaming, and so the Sega Genesis was born. This console brought the arcade experience into the living room with a wide array of games that catered to all types of gamers. From action-packed adventures to sports simulations, the Sega Genesis offered something for everyone. And so, as the golden age of arcade games began to fade, Sega was already looking ahead. They had seen the future of gaming, and they were ready to embrace it. As the popularity of home consoles started to rise, Sega was ready to take on the challenge. The 90s brought a shift in the gaming industry, with home consoles becoming the preferred platform for gamers. This era was pivotal for Sega, as they ventured into the realm of home gaming, creating consoles that would become iconic in their own right. First came the Sega Master System in the mid-80s, a console that was sleek, compact, and packed with power. It introduced gamers to a new world of gaming, offering a variety of games with rich graphics and compelling storylines. But the Master System was just the beginning, a prelude to what was to come. In the late 80s, Sega launched the Genesis, a console that would become synonymous with the brand. The Genesis was a game changer, literally. With its advanced graphics and sound capabilities, it brought a whole new level of realism to video games. It was the Genesis that gave us games like Streets of Rage and Golden Axe, titles that have stood the test of time and are still loved by many today. But Sega didn't just revolutionize gaming with their consoles, they also gave us characters that would become cultural icons. And none are more iconic than Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic burst onto the scene in the 90s with his trademark blue spikes and super speed. He became the face of Sega, a symbol of their innovation and creativity. This era was a time of great change and innovation for Sega. They transitioned from the arcade to the living room, adapting to the evolving needs of gamers. They pushed boundaries, experimented with new technology, and created games and characters that are still beloved today. Sega's impact on the gaming industry is undeniable. From arcades to home consoles, they've left an indelible mark. Their legacy is etched in the memories of gamers around the world, a testament to their skill, creativity, and passion.